This week has reminded me how powerful it is to, one, balance what you give, two, hold your boundaries, even when it's hard, and three, believe in yourself. Like, we need to believe in ourselves, people. We need to believe in ourselves, even when no one else quite sees a vision. So, from asking people to follow the rules when it comes to nicknames, yes, we're going to go there, to navigating absolute diary chaos, and speaking at a really cool event today. I think this week has been in equal parts humbling and affirming. Let's get into it. I'm Ramat Tejani, and this is the weekly Unfold, where I share the asks, the stumbles, the lessons, the gratitude that kind of shape me as we go through each week as I'm growing through this life. Let's get into it. My ask this week is all about people needing to follow the rules. Now, this got me thinking about whether people actually know the difference between rules and boundaries. When it comes to boundaries, it's all about what you, as the individual, what you will or will not allow. So, boundaries are about protecting your peace. When it comes to rules, they're kind of like external, but like what you expect others to do. In my case, I had to remind people a few times this week about the rules when it comes to nicknames for me. You can't shorten my name to Rams unless I know you like that, unless we've been friends for some time or your family. Like, not just anyone can call me Rams. So I might be giving an example and be like, talking about how I've spoken to myself in a space. I'm not therefore giving you permission to call me Rams. Don't do it. My name is Ramat until I tell you otherwise. So yeah, it was all lighthearted, but also a really important reminder that how we let people address us or treat us actually matters. My ask: follow the rules. So this week was a bit of a messy one. I had a medical appointment which had been booked for later in the year, and then even though it had been booked, I hadn't put it in my diary, like my personal diary. Mistake number one. And then I'm doing some events for work, some activations, and we had to change some dates around because of venues, etc. And they pushed it back to a date. Now they pushed it back to the date of my appointment. I forgot that I had the appointment because it's not in my diary. 2 days later, they the guys from the medical place sent me a message about how do I want to pay for the appointment, and different options. And I looked at the date and I was like, snap, I can't do that date because I'm now supposed to be somewhere else. But actually, when it comes to this medical appointment, honestly, it takes months, sometimes years to get this appointment. And so I had to figure out a solution or an alternative for being covered whilst wherever the event is. And it was a bit of a to and fro, but I ended up calling them and speaking to them, and I was a bit of a mess. But they were able to, thankfully, someone else had cancelled their appointment, and so thankfully I was able to take that cancelled appointment, and I can do that, and now I can do both things. But best believe, if I couldn't have, I would have had to cancel doing the event because health is wealth, people, and I can't wait another 3 6 months to get another appointment because of an event. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, but health is wealth. Lesson learned on my part: when the appointment is booked, put it in your calendar straight away, because I didn't, and yeah, it caused a bit of aggro this week and a lot of emotions as I was like, oh my gosh, what do I want to do? I don't want to let people down, etc. But it's all sorted. And I think there's also a lesson in that if you don't ask, you don't get. Like, it's so rare for this particular doctor to have like cancellations or people not being able to get an appointment straight away. So for me to get that, to call on that day and to speak to the PA, who was absolutely lovely, by the way, and her to be able to say, actually, we actually just had a cancellation. If you can make this date work instead. Yeah. Thank you, God, because I was so upset. So upset. But we made it work. We made it work. So yeah, failure on the diary thing, but we sorted it. Your story matters. Your story matters. You never know when someone might just need to hear your story to help them take the next steps in their story. I was speaking at the UK Black Business Show at the Vamp brunch this week, and two ladies. I didn't speak. I spoke on a panel, and I didn't think I spoke that much, but I said what I had to say when I needed to. Two ladies, when I was leaving, came up to me to say that what I shared with them really hit a nerve and it landed with them. And I was like, oh, because I came off thinking, oh, snap, I didn't really say much. I didn't say as much as I could have. There wasn't really enough time. But actually, the message landed as it should have. And it was just a really important reminder to share what you have to say. You may well be sharing something that someone else absolutely needs to hear in that moment. Bet on yourself every single time. You won't always have cheerleaders. You won't always have the external validation. But if you believe in the thing, in the vision, that is enough. That is my reminder for my second reminder. Bet on yourself. You know yourself better than anyone else. Bet on yourself. A few things have happened rather over the last couple of months, and over this last week, things came to fruition that made me be like, yeah, and this is why I betted on myself, because I could see it. If you couldn't see it, that's your business, but I could see it. So yeah, here's a reminder: bet on yourself. You've got this. Bet on yourself. Insurance, in particular, emergency home coverage, whatever it's called. Because when I walked into my flat and saw a leak in my bathroom, I was ready to cry. But thankfully, it's being handled. It's not been handled, it's being handled. Because apparently it's a bigger problem than we thought. So yeah, really, really grateful and thankful for home insurance. And yeah, emergency home coverage, which meant that they came out pretty quickly to try and sort it out. Get the home insurance, people, you never know. Also, random, but on my walk yesterday, it was quite early, but I saw five fire engines and three police cars and some other, like an ambulance, etc. And I was wondering what's going on. As I walked past, there was a flat that had caught fire, and it literally just got me thinking, like, shit, like, thank God I had insurance, or I have insurance, because should, God forbid it doesn't, but should an incident happen, I am covered. So this is your friendly reminder to get home insurance or get cover if you can. It doesn't always have to be for the maximum, because you might not be able to afford monthly payments or the annual payments, but put something aside just in case, because yeah, I think it's important. All right, that's my not financial advice, but my advice. Super grateful and thankful for catching up, for having time to catch up with some of the day ones. Yesterday, I spent a good couple of hours just chatting to people I haven't spoken to in a little while. So shout out to Blanchard. Shout out to Lucinda. I don't know, sometimes you have these conversations that just leave you smiling and, you know, reminiscing on days gone. So went to university with both, and actually knew Lucinda beforehand because we used to work together at Gap. shout out Gap, Gap Kids Floor in particular. So yeah, just catching up with them was really cool, and it was just a reminder that actually sometimes we need to check in with our friends, old and new, and sometimes it's a phone call is just as good as actually meeting up in person, because I've been trying to meet up with both of them separately for a while and it just hasn't happened. So I was like, just pick up the phone, Ramat, pick up the phone. And we did, and we had a good natter. I spoke to both of them for over an hour. So yeah, just feeling super grateful and thankful for those friendships and relationships. That's it. That's it. As I mentioned, I was speaking on a panel earlier this week, and it was about how we influence from the inside out and how you take up space and, put yourself forward in spaces that perhaps don't want you to be there or don't expect you to be there. And I think one of the things that I was super thankful and grateful for was just being on the panel with some really, really great speakers, and also meeting some of the speakers from the other panels. It was great, like chatting to people in the green room beforehand and after, to be fair. And sometimes you see people online and they are fantastic online, and you're just like, you don't know how they're going to be in real life, because not everyone is the same as they are in real life, but they were all absolutely lovely. So yeah, a massive shout out to all my fellow panelists, and in particular Mama Dinya. I've been following her content for a while, and I even said to her that I'd seen her at an event at my office last year, and I didn't want to say anything to her because she looked like she was just in her zone, and you don't want to like disturb people when they're just doing their thing. She was so lovely, and she's actually hilarious in real life as she is online. Like, absolutely hilarious. Loved it. So yeah, here's to connecting and sharing spaces and stages with really cool people. I absolutely loved it, and super thankful and grateful for the opportunity. Week 43, 52. Honestly, I have a little bit of a cold, which is kind of is disappearing. So I'm looking forward to that being completely cleared. And I have like a team offsite, which should be really cool. We as a whole team have we've gone through the roller coasters of changes, and I don't think I can't remember the last time we kind of all came together. So it'll be nice for everyone to be in the same place and to catch up with each other. And I'm doing some hosting again next week, so another one at work. But we're talking about AI, and we're looking at how it can be done differently, and there's going to be some drama involved, and I'm going to pick up my GCSE drama and dust that off and bring that to life. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. There's a lot of prep that goes into that has gone into that, and is going to have to keep going into it next week. But I think the final result will be really, really cool. So that's what I'm looking forward to next week. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging. I appreciate you more than you know. And as always, stay out of trouble unless it's good trouble, in which case, go wild. Bye.